Hey everyone, my name is Julia Flynn Seiler. On behalf of Litquake, thank you all so much for coming to Lit Crawl San Francisco. Yeah. So tonight is the closing night of Litquake, San Francisco's literary festival, and we are in the midst of our first and hopefully only virtual Lit Crawl, which is running 10:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. tonight with 25 events and featuring 7 cities around the world. This nonprofit festival is nearly 100% free and could not exist without the generosity of our individual donors. If you believe in keeping literature a key component of San Francisco's cultural landscape, please consider dropping us a few dollars. Every bit helps. We accept donations on Venmo at Litquake, on PayPal at info@litquake.org, or directly at litquake.org. After the event, you'll be asked to fill out a short survey. These surveys are also essential to our efforts to keep the Lit Crawl free. So let's get started with our event. And here is your host for The Wonderful Wizard of Ahhs by the Castro Writers Coop. The host is my friend, Scott James. Take it over, Scott.
Welcome to Litquake's Lit Crawl and to the annual literary relay race presented by the Castro Writers Cooperative, a co-working space for writers in the heart of San Francisco. You can find out more at castrowriterscoop.com. I'm Scott James. I'm the co-founder of the Coop, and for tonight's event, I am also the referee. So what exactly is a literary relay race? Well, one writer starts a short story and then stops in the middle of a sentence and hands it off to another writer. Then that writer continues the story and then hands it off to another, and so on and so forth until the story is completed. And very important, each writer must write their portion of the short story in their own unique style. Literary relay races are based on classic works of literature, and this year we're taking on L. Frank Baum's children's epic, The Wizard of Ahhs. But of course, this is 2020. And so in a nod to all the swabs that we've had stuck up our noses over the past few months, we're calling this The Wizard of Ah. So without further delay, and with apologies to L. Frank Baum, here is the Castro Writers Group presenting The Wizard of Ah.
Dorothy Gale is a 16-year-old Gen Z living in a town in Kentfield, a town in Marin County, and one of the few places in California where Republicans are safe, but not safe enough to avoid wearing a mask because of a fake pandemic. Dorothy's aunt and uncle followed the wear your mask rule, even though most of their neighbors ignored it. They didn't care that the mask was giving her pimples. Besides, teenagers don't even get the virus. Now Dorothy's spending her senior year at Zoom school, and instead of putting up another ribbon for staying Ivanka slim, Dorothy put on the COVID-20. And when she complained, her therapist, Dr. Burks, made her draw an iceberg and write her feelings under the water. At least Madison's parents got her a Peloton to ride during class. Then last night, everything got even worse when a friend messaged a snap of her neighbor's new Biden lawn sign. A few of his family members get corona and now he becomes a radical left-wing socialist. Trump said it was Biden and Obama who didn't do their jobs. They're the ones who ruined her life. Lately, the only one who paid attention to Dorothy was Toto, who was in lockdown because he bit a Pomeranian at the park. The stress of it all was giving her diarrhea. Costco ran out of Charmin, and one-ply toilet paper is terrible when you have a bad constitution. Dorothy was so over it. She had to leave, go somewhere else. Go
someplace where the sky wasn't choked with smoke from the forest. From the forest fires, she had heard of such a place, a magical place, where a girl was free to use as much toilet paper as she wanted. You couldn't get there by a boat or a train. You needed a private jet. Somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, folks are free. There's a man that I heard of who thinks masks are dumb like me. Somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, they make Fox News. And the dreams that conservatives dream really do come true. Suddenly, the roof of her uncle's plastic storage shed flew by. She and Toto ran down the driveway and discovered what appeared to be a tornado, as tall as a skyscraper, tossing SUVs around like tumbleweeds. How can that be? She asked. We don't have tornadoes in California, unless, no, Toto! Is climate change real? The little dog jumped in her arms, widened its eyes, and tried desperately to nod, but Dorothy only laughed and squished him. As the tornado approached, her hair whipped around her face. She ran inside her McMansion to try a new hairstyle, something cute and windproof, like maybe braids. In the entryway, something whacked her on the forehead. Crap, it was that giant container of hand sanitizer her stupid loser Auntie Dem kept there. As Dorothy collapsed, she had the funniest feeling that her house was rising. Toto's slimy tongue on her face woke her up. Through the open window, she saw
the world spinning round. Then smash, boom, bang, the house landed, squashing Dr. Burks. Dorothy and Toto exited. I can see clearly now the smoke has gone, she sang, stepping over Burks's shoes that popped out from underneath the house. A flash mob in shades of blue, seemingly small in stature, appeared with mumbled mantras of healthcare, justice, the post office. Poorly choreographed, they needed Lin-Manuel Miranda to shape it together. A green car with 4 women and a squad license plate sped by on their left. Dorothy said, Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kentfield anymore. Maybe she was in the Upside Down or Willy Wonka's factory or an online vortex. Yesterday, she got sucked in deep after searching DIY Kardashian brows. Eyes are definitely the window of the soul when you're wearing a mask. And 200 TikToks later, she had missed her Schedule B Zoom English, or was it her Schedule C Zoom bio? A gleaming figure in a white pantsuit and mask with sunglasses and a silk scarf appeared. Who are you? I am the Enchantress, the Cat Wrangler, and the most powerful female leader of the land. But you can just call me Nancy. Dorothy asked, do you know where I can get a blowout? Learn from my experience. If you are a man, you can deduct 70,000 in haircuts. But if you're a woman in a pandemic, always dry your own hair. Nancy took off her scarf and
wrapped it around Dorothy's neck and disappeared before the wicked Mitch or witch or biatch could grab it. You can't have that. It's mine, all mine. I got the power. But Toto started barking and snapping and growling at him, so he backed away. Give me that scarf, girlie, or I'll take your little dog too. With that scarf, we can appoint Supreme Court justices, wreak havoc on the environment, promote inequality and herd mentality. Wait up, Dorothy said. First of all, I'm a woman, not a girl. Oh, so you're one of those Dems, undecided. Who's that woman under the house that Toto is jumping up and down about? Oh, Dr. Burks, just another servant of the supreme leader of us all. She was helping us out with that little pandemic. It's just a flu, really. You mean the president? We call him Oz. The leader of us all and knows all and sees all and is a real wise guy. So like I need to converse with him and set him straight about a few things and get back home in time to vote. Oh, I could help you with that. I could help you find him, but first give me that lovely red scarf, or I won't show you how to get to Oz. Suddenly, a glorious ghost appeared in a black robe and a rhinestone tiara with the initials RBG and emblazoned on each sleeve in neon rainbow colors, Notorious. She was pointing the way to the yellow brick road. See you later, sucker. And with that, Dorothy
Reached down and gave her puppers Toto a rub behind the ears, wondering aloud to herself, do dogs spread coronavirus? And if so, why doesn't anyone make dogs wear masks? Because, said a cartoony voice, dogs would eat all the masks and then there would be no masks left. That would be bad, don't you think? Dorothy spun around. Who said that? Why, it's me, down here, Dorothy. Dorothy looked down and saw a tiny group of fresh-faced kiddos in tight black V-neck tees and track suits looking like they were ready for some kind of dance routine. What are you? Dorothy asked, suddenly afraid. Don't worry, Dorothy. We mean you no harm. We're just Kpop tweens. Kpop tweens? We're kids obsessed with Korean pop music. We're on TikTok too. You probably won't get to know us though. We embarrassed the wizard by buying up all the tickets in his Tulsa, Oklahoma rally, causing him to lash out and remove Brad Parscale from campaign director. If the wizard ever gets removed from power, you can thank us. But now we're sad because the wizard is trying to remove the Emerald City from TikTok forever. Oh no, said Dorothy, that's horrible. I don't want TikTok to be canceled. That's literally the only source of joy I have now that we're not allowed to hang out with anyone. Isn't that right, Toto? But Toto was looking up where a Mormon with really intense eye contact appeared.
In the middle of a divergent path, Toto was staring to the right where that stuffed Mormon was hanging on a cross on a cornfield. Oh, Toto, Dorothy exclaimed, projecting particles from her pimply, unmasked face. Look at this cornfield. We've landed in Kansas. Nope, said the crucified straw-filled man. You're in Utah. Does that scare you? No, Dorothy replied. Kentfield, cornfield, Utah, Kansas. They're all the same to me. The Mormon crossed his arms, pointing both to the left and to his own path. On one hand, he said, I don't like that the wizard cheated to stay the all-powerful Wizard of Oz. I'm the first scarecrow in Oz history to vote to remove a right path wizard. Maybe I belong on the left. Of course, I do go both ways, he added. I supported a vote to replace Notorious RBG before the next wizardential election. With that, an apparition of Notorious RBG appeared, dropping her rainbow-colored sleeves toward the floor to bust out a plank for her TikTok followers. Her special ghost friend Marty recording on his iPhone. Seizing her chance for TikTok stardom, Dorothy sang to the scarecrow in Marty's direction. You'd dissent like this, smart mama, or give speeches like Obama if you only had a brain. Of course, I'm not bright about TikTok, the scarecrow said, but isn't it mostly for dancing? Because I know someone who can get down if you lube him up first. He pretends to be.
Hang on, interrupted a man made out of tin. There'll be no getting lubricated without my wife present. Whoa, Dorothy says, it's Mike Pence. Can you help us get to Mar-a-Lago? Of course I can, little lady, he tells her. There are no flies on me. Before he can patronize her any further, the sky fills with the beating of wings, and a political action committee's worth of flying monkeys drops down around them. We've come to help, the monkeys announce. Oh, wait a minute, Dorothy says. Aren't you on the side of the wicked Mitch? Not anymore, they tell her. Now we're all about getting Oz out from under the tiny infectious thumbs of the wizard. So all the Republican monkeys are now anti-wizard, asks the Scarecrow. No, they tell them, just the ones with wings. Why's that? Because wings require a backbone. The Scarecrow starts mumbling something about the Constitution and the Supreme Court when he is interrupted by maniacal cackling. It is the Wicked Mitch himself, flying above them on a gas-guzzling broom. What's that he's writing, Dorothy asks. The Tin Man squints into the sky. Surrender, Roe v. Wade. We got to get to Mar-a-Lago right away, says Dorothy. In that case, the monkeys tell her, head straight into that dark, dangerous forest. Is it as dangerous as a White House event in the Rose Garden? The Tin Man asks. Almost, they tell him. Just be sure to wear your mask and keep your eyes peeled for lions and tigers and bears, asks Dorothy. Lions and tigers and bears are so 2016. These days, it's
fires and hurricanes and back to school. Whatever will we do? Asked Dorothy. Register to vote, say the flying monkeys, and check your deadlines for voting by mail. And while you're at it, throw in a couple of stamps and help out the USPS, the last bastion of democracy, you know? But they've already taken away all our mailboxes, says Dorothy. At least I think that's what they were. Then you'll have to cross the COVID forest and vote in person. Toto began to bark. You're right, Toto, says Dorothy. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stay these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. Together, Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man head into the COVID forest, repeating, fires and hurricanes and back to school, oh my! The trio is just about to post a really tight TikTok routine when a lion jumps out from behind a socially distanced tree. He's got no mask, says the Scarecrow. Is 6 feet enough? Asked Dorothy. Oh, Russ, says the Tin Man. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the capacity to act despite our fears, roars the lion. John McCain? Asked the Scarecrow. What's that dank smell? Asked Dorothy. The marijuana fields of Oz, says the ghostly lion. Marijuana? The Scarecrow and the Tin Man gasp. My daughter says it would have extended my life, says the ghostly lion. It's illegal. It's the devil. What's the CBD to THC? Asked Dorothy. If only we could.
Make a detour, says the lion. I'm scared. Dorothy takes his hand. We're almost there. Look, there's Mar-a-Lago. The Wicked Mitch, gazing into his crystal cauldron, watches the trio. And now, my pretty, you and your little friends will be full of shitty cannabis laced with opioids, you and your silly droids. Ha 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 ha. Halfway across the field, Dorothy slows down. Wow, this is so trippy. No, keep going, says the Scarecrow. The Tin Man points, look, there's a sign. It says Mar-a-Lago. Dorothy says, it's code for, she falls to the ground into a deep sleep. No, what do we do now? The lion says. Just then, Nancy the Good Witch floats above, waves her scarf. Let it snow, let it snow, let it blow. It snows, and Dorothy awakes. OMG. Climate change is real. Like a minute ago, it was like hot, and now it's snowing. The trio makes its way to the gates of Mar-a-Lago. You're out of the woods, you're out of the dope, you're into the shit. You're out of the dark, step into the light. Dorothy stops. Wait, isn't that racist? You're out of the dark, stop into the light. What's wrong with the dark. But before they could discuss this salient point, they reached the entrance to Mar-a-Lago, and amazingly, the gates open. When they step inside,
Ivanka, the gatekeeper, blocks their path. No one sees the wizard here at Mar-a-Lago without my permission, says Ivanka, smiling with perfectly capped teeth. Ooh, I love your red snakeskin stilettos and your white sheath. They're from my own line, directly from Zhejiang. China, aren't we keeping America great? Those pesky regulations in American factories, minimum wage, health benefits, and safety standards seriously cut into my profits. Oh my, said Dorothy, confused. I need to see the wizard about his tax returns in Putin and the wizard towers in Istanbul. Is he a security risk to America? Daddy will explain about the fake news after you tidy up. He'll pay more attention if you're a 10. Trust me, I know. They walked up the marble stairway into the Mar-a-Lago nip-in tuck-up shop, past a line of Miss America pageant winners singing, "That's how we keep young and fair in the merry land of Mar-a-Lago." Ivanka insisted on liposuction for the lion, calf implants for the scarecrow, and Botox between the brows for the Tin Man. To get his attention, you'll need bigger breasts, she said, pointing to Dorothy. Double D, at least. But I need to see the wizard now. Is he really $420 million in debt? I thought he was a winner. Then go with the bigger lips. It worked for me. See? Ivanka puckered her perfectly pouty lips. Maybe I should get the lip injections. I look super lit in my snaps. While Dorothy considered her options, Mamala burst.
Through a cloud of purple smoke, her shimmering visage beckons Dorothy. Longing for the shelter in place of home she once scorned, Dorothy runs to, and then through her beloved auntie. Alas, it was only an illusion, the reflection of a giant TV stuck on Fox News. Who dares enter my unbelievably huge lair, the best in all of Oz? A voice pitched somewhere between a squawk and a scream boomed in a machine gun cadence. How did you get past my big, beautiful wall? We are very tough on intruders. Dorothy quivered in her ruby shoes and her matching scarf. Where could this terrifying voice be coming from? Mr. Wizard, she cried plaintively, is that you? I came to... It cut her off. Of course. Didn't you see the tremendous orange wizard tower sign outside of this building? The voice ricocheted around the room, giving Dorothy and everyone in a 5-mile radius an instant headache. Mr. Wizard, sir, can you save TikTok and make America great again? I've got a brilliant plan for that. It's fantastic. A plan like no one has ever seen. Hey, you stop that, you little alarmist mutt. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Dorothy follows the sound of a tussle to an alcove hidden by a curtain. There, Toto tugs on an incredibly long tie snaking out from under the curtain. With one last tug, the curtain falls to reveal the orange fraud using a Sharpie to haphazardly sign executive orders typed by his few remaining loyal monkeys. You're the hoax, she cried, not the pandemic. Toto picks up a mask from the ground and
responsibly places it over his muzzle. Safety first, he barks. I think that guy has COVID. Tears well in Dorothy's eyes. She faces the wizard. You can't grant our wishes, can you? Course I can. The wizard coughs and mops his brow. But I don't want to. Come on, Vunky. He and Ivanka tumble into a pure gold, coal-fired hot air balloon, which lifts majestically into the sky, then melts, crashes, and sinks into the ocean. Because solid gold hot air balloons are, as the scientists kept telling him, thermodynamically fucked. Dorothy's tears spill over. I'm never going to see Mama or Uncle Joe again, am I? Just then, a twinkle appears on the horizon, growing bigger until Nancy the Good Witch alights from a cloud of scented hairspray and condescending applause. What have you learned, dear? She says, waving her wand. That I shouldn't have voted for him in 2016. That stinky wizard was never going to make anything great. But if we vote him out, we can make America safer, fairer, and better for all of us. Nancy smiles fondly. Dorothy, you've had the power to return home this whole time. But first, she whips out a Q-tip. Say, Wizard of Ahhs. Dorothy yelps as the Q-tip tickles her grey matter. Nancy examines the rapid test. Negative, how marvelous. Now, to get home, place this scarf over your face. Dorothy interrupts. Do I have to do the whole scarf mask thing? It's really itchy and I have this acne problem. Nancy glares. Dorothy shuts the hell up. Now, repeat after me, Nancy says. We can all agree that this year is bizarre. So think of each other. Don't visit that bar. Things will work out, but for now, don't go far. And remember, there's no place like home because that's where you are. Boop.
Yay!
Woo!
Oh my God, we did it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
One.
Cheers. Congratulations, everybody.
All right, we did it.
There. Can I kick you out of that room or what? We don't know. I'm gonna come over and sit next to you now.
I can't read that number. You can say it. 83.
Hey, Scott, you want to say goodbye to folks?
Can you hear me? There you go. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you to Litquake for having us. And hopefully, as Julie said, this will be the last time we do it virtually, and we'll see you in person next year at Litquake. Good night.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye.